Hello everyone, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be using these really cool products that you can see here on the screen to create this really sweet card that's on the left. And I'm going to start off by using the flower petal cover plate and flower centers cover plate. This is a set of two cover plates sold separately that coordinate together to create just a really lovely floral textured cover for your card project here. So I'm going to show you that I've already cut these out of an A2 size piece of, or two A2 size pieces of white cardstock to create this gorgeous layered effect with these cover plates. There is a coordinating stencil as well with this set. I'm not going to use it today, but I did just want to show you. You can use this to layer over top to color in parts of your flower, or to also color in the centers of the flowers on your card front, which would be a really sweet effect as well. I just wanted a white on white textured effect for my card today, so I am going to just use these without color in the background and add a little bit of color with my other elements. Now this is the Sweet Stack Circles die set from Honeybee. These are perfect for so many things, including making a frame. Now I wanted to build a wreath today, so I took two of the frames that were just slightly smaller than each other. So the one frame is slightly smaller than the other, layered those together with some tape and ran that through my die cutting machine with some gold foil for a wreath. Now this is the Whimsical Spring Flowers die set. Love this so much. I cut a piece of 3-inch wide cardstock to run through my Bitty Buzz cutter, and you can just see here I have all of my Whimsical Spring florals on my base. I'm going to tape those with some Easy C tape and run that through my Bitty Buzz cutter in that way. I'm going to end up with a bunch of really great die cut florals for my wreath that I showed you there earlier from that gold metallic cardstock. So I'm just going to run that through my buzz cutter, and this will just reveal all of these really great little die cut pieces. I love the Whimsical Spring Floral set. It's a really great die set that you can use for so many different cards, for so many sweet little floral embellishments, and you can just see how this yields a ton of florals. And what I really also love about this die set is it also embosses the flowers to create some really neat texture on them. I'm going to show you that up close here so that you can see that embossed detail. What I'm going to do now is also cut out the little foliage from that same set, and I'm going to cut the foliage from some really pretty aqua colored cardstock. And I'm not going to use all of these pieces. What I'll do is I'll just put the extras back in the packaging, but you can see that these also have embossed details on them as well. Now there's also dies with the Whimsical Floral set for the centers of the flowers. I'm going to cut those out of some yellow cardstock, and you can just see that I've got all of these different little pieces here that I can use to layer on my flowers. This is an inkstand from the Inkstand Company. We do sell those in the Honeybee shop. I'm also going to be using some Distress ink in Worn Lipstick, and you can just see how great that fits into my inkstand, and I'm going to just use that to go ahead and hold my ink pad while I do a little bit of ink blending. Now I'm just using a detail brush here to just add a little bit of color to the centers of my flowers. I didn't want too much color here, nothing bold. I just wanted just a really, really soft hint of pink. I was really going for a light touch with this card with just a few bold accents like that metallic cardstock, for example, and the pop of the aqua colored cardstock with the foliage. So I'm just going to add just a tiny little bit of color to each of the centers, and then you can just see how those really pretty little yellow floral centers are going to layer over top of that and how pretty those are going to look. And I don't take a ton of time with this ink blending. It is a pretty quick process, and I'm not going to show you the ink blending of each one of these florals. It's just the same thing all the time, but I am working on my waffle flower blending mat here, or stencil mat. I do love this waffle flower mat so much. I actually think I have it in 3 different sizes. I love it so much, and it's really great because it's made from some silicone material so that your paper sticks really nicely to that mat while you're ink blending. So love that so much, and I'm just going to finish up that ink blending quickly here, and then you'll just see me adding the yellow centers to those pink parts of the portions of the flowers, just the very center there, with a little bit of my Honeybee precision glue tube here. So just using my Honeybee reverse tweezers to help me place those little bits of yellow cardstock that have been die cut with that Whimsical Spring Floral die set. and just putting the glue down onto the flower and then lining up the little center there with the etching that's on the flower. I'm just taking my little ball tool here. This is a little tool for shaping florals. I don't add shape to every one of the flowers, just to some of them. I wanted some of them to be flat just for the process of layering, but this is just a really simple process that just allows you to create a little bit more texture and dimension with your florals. There is a tool like this from Honeybee in the Honeybee shop. I'll be sure to link this up in the video description below. So there you can just see I've used that to create some texture, and you'll see those florals in a minute once I've put my card together. What I'm going to do now is just glue my cover plate together by taking my glue tube again and just adding a little bit of adhesive around the edges. And there, I'll just layer that top cover plate over the bottom. And now that's going to be ready for my A2 size card base front. So I'm using a top folding A2 size portrait card base here today for my project. I'll add a little bit of adhesive onto the back of the base cover plate, and then I will adhere that onto my card base so that I can go ahead and start adding the details to the rest of my card. This is really simple and easy to do. These cover plates from Honeybee are so gorgeous, and there's quite a few different designs in the shop. If you just search for cover plates, and you'll find a ton of these, and they're so great for making quick and beautiful cards. Now I'm just taking a little bit of foam adhesive strips here and adding that to my gold metallic cardstock wreath, and that is going to just be popped up on my card front, and that is what I'm going to add, of course, my floral pieces to create my little wreath. I'm just going to trim off that excess foam adhesive there and add this onto my card base. And I just wanted to create some florals just on the left side of my wreath and then leave the center part open for my sentiment. So I'm going to just show you how I think about, or how I'm thinking I'm going to put these onto the wreath, and then I will adhere them to the wreath off camera. It's just really simple. I just use a little bit of liquid adhesive on the wreath itself and add the first layer of florals, and then I add a little bit of dimensional foam adhesive to the top layers of florals that I add onto the lower layers, so that I'm adding a little bit more dimension in that way. And I just really love the soft nature of this. I think it just looks really pretty with that little bit of pink and yellow, and then the aqua foliage just really pops off of the card, and just with that little bit of gold accent with the wreath, I think it's just really sharp and really quite soft and pretty. So I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive to the ends of the foliage that I cut from that aqua cardstock, and just kind of stick those into the different floral areas that I have on my wreath. And I only added 3 different pieces of foliage. I didn't think I needed too much, and I just wanted just that tiny little bit of accent of that aqua colored cardstock. And I love using my tweezers for this process as well, just to help me whenever I need them to place things or grab them from my table or whatever the case might be, or for putting the adhesive on them, etc. So just really, this is almost like performing surgery. It's a little bit intricate and detailed, but I just feel like the results are gorgeous in the end, and I just really love this card when it's all finished up. So I'm just going to finish up those layers, and now I'm going to use this sentiment set. It's called My Favorite Flower. I love this sentiment set. I've used it a lot. I like the size of it. I like the combination of the different fonts, and I did heat emboss with gold embossing powder the sentiment that I'm going to use for my card. And I also am going to use the coordinating dies for this set. So this set does have a coordinating die set sold separately. And I'm just going to use my Easy C tape again to tape the die onto the sentiment here. I'm just taking my time to make sure that I line this up properly. And I will run that through my Bitty Buzz cutter again and just get that die cut out all nicely to apply to the inside of that wreath for the sentiment. And I will be good to go to finish up the last little bit of details on this card project today for you. So I'm just going to grab my Bitty Buzz cutter. I love the Bitty Buzz cutter, by the way. I love the size of it for my desk. It's super easy. All you have to do is cut your paper in a 3-inch strip, and you can run all kinds of smaller dies through this little buzz cutting, die cutting machine. I think it's fantastic. I have linked the buzz cutter in the description box below as well. So now what I want to do is take some foam adhesive to the back of my sentiment, and just so that that'll pop up and add some dimension to it. And you can just see there's the perfect size ready for that sentiment in the center part of the wreath. Now I want to take the Cool Pearls stickers from Honeybee, and I want to add some detail to the centers of my florals in that way. So I'm just using my craft knife here to go ahead and add those to the centers of my florals. I do believe we do have these pen blades in the Honeybee shop now, so I will try to remember to link these up also. They're really, really great for adding gems or little details to your project, not just cutting paper. Now this is my finished card. I really love how it turned out. And friends, I have linked up to all of the products that I used today for this project in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon.